surely, I won't. If I use the word technicality, it might be downplaying it a bit. But if they are so feel that it's such an important thing, then they should be helping out. Not on the EC, obviously, and not as party members, because they wouldn't be allowed into the membership. But they could still be helping us out from the sidelines as sympathisers. The other point is that it seems to me that although a lot of our feelings are based on the materialist conditions of the society that we live under, at the same time there are quite clearly non-materialist aspects of our lives, love towards other human beings, love of nature and interest in the world around us. So we're talking about that as well as the materialist conditions of the society that we live in.
Joy? Yeah.
I just wondered, just in response to Vince, whether in excluding people from the, I say it in inverted commas, clubs, you won't actually demotivate them from going out and spreading the idea. Just a question.
Well, I think the most important thing there is that we explain to them clearly why that they couldn't actually be allowed into the party, because religion, as has already been mentioned, takes control away from human beings, whereas we believe that human beings must sort out the problem, the social problem themselves, and not relying in religious forces, and that people who believe in some type of religious force are automatically weakening the ability of humanity to see that they've got to sort out things themselves. If we put that case forward to them clearly and say that we would still appreciate their help in trying to create socialism, that we would hope that at some time in the very near future that they would abandon their religious belief, then some of them might work for us. And if they don't feel able to overcome that aspect, and if they feel discouraged from that party attitude, then those that feel that way, you've got to question whether they really want socialism or not. Because if they do consider that getting rid of capitalism and establish socialism is a very important thing, they should be able to overcome that.
I mean, it strikes me it might be an idea to remove from the party's so-called knowledge test. It's the questionnaire it asks people to answer when they apply for membership to the party. If we were to remove from that the question on religion, and therefore people wouldn't have to say whether they believed in religion or a god or not, if they were admitted to the party on the basis of their other answers, it would be interesting to see, if we removed it, whether in the space of a significant period of time the party became a kind of God squad. I suspect that wouldn't happen at all. I suspect that most, if not all, of these people would very, very quickly ditch any religious ideas they had, and if they didn't want to do that, wouldn't be in the party very long.
Lorna, then Simon, then Dick, then Eleanor. I'm just trying to remember that. Yeah, Lorna. Yes.
I suspect that the reason why quite a lot of people say that they're religious or admit some sort of spiritual belief is because the idea of religion is so caught up with the idea of morality that sometimes to say that you don't believe in a God is almost people maybe feel it's to say that you've got no sort of moral system, that you've got no value system, that you're not trying to be good in any way. I mean, I've got a really good friend of mine actually who recently converted to Islam and become really, really devout. And he liked me as a person, but he couldn't marry the fact that he liked me and he thought I was a good person and I didn't believe in any God. Or he kept saying, but you must have some sort of spiritual belief, you must have. You know, because to him, having some sort of spiritual belief meant that you could, you know, sort of like, you could be a good person or have some sort of good value system.
Yeah, just come back on a couple of things. First of all, in terms of discarding your belief, I think that's the wrong way to go about it. It's more likely to actually encourage people to hang on to something very much along the lines of like the Aesop's fable of the wind and the sun. I mean, if you say to someone that you can be socialist but you must discard your religious belief, it also sounds a bit 1984, you know, like all love is the love of Big Brother, all competing pleasures we shall destroy. But we instead need to we need to be better than religion, to point out that what we're actually trying to do is get past all this religious nonsense to allow people to experience the world in a better way than they currently do, of just basically going to church once a week and pretending that they're a wonderful God-fearing person or whatever. You know, that we're actually trying to create a world that is all of what they're thinking of and more. You know, but in order to do that, you have to change your ideas. In terms of bringing religious people into the party and then them losing their ideas, I think there's a very good test bed to check this kind of thing, and that would be the World in Common, which has been running for a few years. And that would be to see whether the World in Common members have actually been ditching their ideas, because they've been in that kind of environment. They've been in an environment where religion is unchallenged within the organisation, but they're still nominally putting the rest of our ideas as a case.
I think I've only got about 6 people in the party.
But my point is that we wouldn't need to do that ourselves. There's another organisation that can do that. And they can also act as a stalking horse for us for the other 85% if they want, and see how it goes. You know, we can have our mutual night of the long knives at some point when we get much bigger.
They've hardly reached critical mass, have they? Let's face it.
Dick?
Well, I'm really disappointed with the nature of this discussion. The first thing about it is, when I looked at the leaflet, it says something that's just not true. Unfortunately, I've got my glasses or a leaflet, but something to the effect that there was a discussion in the party. I can't see what's in there. I've got my glasses. What is that? It says there's an ongoing discussion or dispute or disagreement inside the party about this. No, to my knowledge there's not. When people have expressed those ideas, they've got the bullet or have left. And the proof of it, the pudding that it's the correct thing, is that so-called non-religious but spiritual bent world in common. That's really grown that tremendously, isn't it? Where is this idea that there's thousands of people out there just hungering to get a Form A, but we're forced in here because of our very harsh viewpoint on religion? It's just not true. I mean, here we are, the party was formed in 1904, and I could understand the way to have a pamphlet in religion, but it was 1911 or something like that. We're a mammoth organisation. The Salvation Army was a mammoth organisation. But what's the position today? Well, in Glasgow, I know for a fact, a development I quite like, a lot of churches are closing down. In fact, one, I'm glad to say, it's turned into a gigantic pub. This is not unusual. I mean, why does the Pope nowadays have to travel all over the world? Because to keep the collection thing. If he didn't do it, they're losing out. That's why he went to South America, because they're losing out there. That's why he's gone to Australia just now. Because what they've got to do, in the past the Pope could sit in the Vatican and let the money roll in. But now, unless he goes out and does a big PR job and goes about in his stupid Pope-mobile and all the rest of it, like a pop star, then the collection cards won't be coming into the Vatican. all over the world, what you're